I say, let's start this revolution now. And it's like, let the criminal know that you're there and you're wide awake. I just phoned my. I'll post in the phone number. Make your phone call if you are Canadian today. It's the Department of Justice. And I just made my phone call and I let them know, hey, look at it. I just found out that as soon as you are a lawyer, they are saying right away you're a criminal. And the whole entire justice system is about us lawyers being the criminals who are going to take advantage of other people, and legally they have to catch it. So that means that the only way you can catch a lawyer is by being a lawyer. So right away you're a criminal as soon as you become a lawyer to catch a lawyer. So it's like a criminal has to catch a criminal. It's like to burn out a fire, sometimes you could use fire to put out fire. That's the same kind of thing. Is the whole legal structure has been set up that the only way you can stop a lawyer, stop the crime going on within the justice system, is if you become a lawyer. So that's why the average citizen can't stop this structure, is because you're not all lawyers. Every single citizen has to become a lawyer to be able to point a finger. Because if I walk up and try and I have done this, I have experience in this, where I tell a judge this is fraud and here is the evidence, and every judge closed their eyes and said, I'm not dealing with this. They didn't say it wasn't a crime. They just said, and some literally just closed their eyes and walked out of the room with no comment. So I know that when I was reporting crimes to judges, judges decided not to do anything, making them accessories to that crime. But I can't seem to make them do anything. Um, so it's declare your own citizenship. You are your own country. Declare your own sovereignty. And then when you are your own country, none of these criminals can touch you. They can't take you into court because you're not part of their system. You are not their citizen. So a cop can't touch you if you have diplomatic immunity. Nobody can sue you if you have diplomatic immunity. That is what the legal structure does, is it holds up countries. It holds up system structures. It holds up businesses. It is the form, is the legal system forms everything together. So I don't necessarily think you have to be a lawyer. You just got to listen to some people that are just as smart as lawyers. And I'm going to be on this one like a dirty shirt, because it sure seems to be making an awful lot of sense. If Quebec can constitutionally be its own country, and the only thing stopping it is because they don't have a majority that is in agreement with it, and that same law applies to each and every individual citizen, you do not have to be a citizen of Canada if you do not want to. And if you leave the country, then Canada owes you a debt, because that's the fraud, is they've been making money off you and not giving any of that money to you. They've been keeping it for the politicians and all of the lawyers, and the Justice Department is basically sucking up all the work that you've done. I mean, do you have the money in your pocket? I've worked my friggin' ass off and I got nothing to show for it. Why? Because it's been legally taken from me. So if my government can't create jobs, then I'll be my own government and create my own job. If my government can't enforce law, then I'll create my own country with my own laws. And I'd like everybody to come into my country. And we sure as hell won't be having these kind of criminal lawyers in my country. Everybody has the right to be free in my country. I have no citizens in my country. I have ambassadors that have diplomatic immunity all over the planet. As long as you do no harm to yourself and you do no harm to anybody else and you do not commit crimes against humanity, all is good. So this is the difference. This is the new revolution, is forming your own country and breaking away. And they owe you a debt, because the way you get out of it is by accusing your government of committing fraud. And the whole structure is fraudulent. So all you have to do is prove the fraud, and then they owe you a debt for that fraud. So it's negotiation. How do you negotiate? Because they have to get rid of that debt. Apparently they have to listen because it's in their it's constitutional law. It's constitutional law that if I catch you in a crime and you owe me money, there's a debt that needs to be paid. So it's not even a matter of whether they pay you. It's a matter of they have a debt that they're not paying you. So it's the same thing that's going on all over the place, is everybody owes a debt. And that's why everybody's scrambling, is because everybody's owed money, but there's no money to pay. So it's like my country can be really, really wealthy because of the fraud and the money that's owed to me. But then that gives me leverage because they owe me money. And as it is just a cool system that there's so much more to learn. It is so freaking exciting. And the more I know, the more I'm going to share it with everybody else. So I think it's been really confusing. I think I've been hearing this from people all over the place. None of it is matching up with anything. A lot of things do not make any sense with it, so that's why I've never gone down this path. But I'm hooking up with one guy that seems to know what he's talking about. And I mean, my thing would be, I don't know why you want to just even mess yourself up with the legal system. It's so freaking corrupt. I think it's a waste of time. I am totally objecting of anybody that even wants to play the legal game. So, but that's part of being open-minded, is I'm a critic. The universe created me to be a critic. Mostly because everybody gave me advice that I followed their advice, and it's like, well, that didn't work. So to be a critic means you've tried an awful lot of things to know the difference between right and wrong about something. When you get to this stage of being a critic, there's a good chance you could be wrong. So that's the part where I will go completely insane if I believe my own shit all the time. So while believing there's nothing stronger I believe in, and then to stay away from the legal system. And I even told this guy, I think you're kind of nuts for doing it. But it is, a matter of being peaceful and loving during a conversation, and having your point of view and somebody else having their point of view, and explaining something, and then you end up getting educated. And through that process of being open-minded against something, I ended up finding out something that makes more sense than anything that I've heard so far. And this guy seems to know it. And he's been on, I will post the link. I'll have to talk to this guy and get his link. for the video, but apparently there, I think 60 million people around the globe have seen his video already. And he has gone into court, videotaped it, and basically made the judge leave the room and couldn't make any orders because they were playing on the game of the name. And I mean, the judge was trying to get him removed from court, but this guy just had to say one thing to these bailiffs, and they were like backed off him like instantly. Like this guy knew how to manage the courtroom and videotaped it, and it's on YouTube. The numbers are manipulated, so you can't really see how much, but I guess somebody actually manipulate or did the calculations to see how many people actually viewed it, and it was like 60 million people around the globe have seen what he has done. And he's well connected with a lot of people. And personally, this guy is really, really, really smart. I think he was telling me his IQ is way past 200. It seems like I always attract really, really smart people. Um, but really, really smart people are actually the really dumbest because they are so friggin' close-minded. That's what I find the problem with most people that are geniuses is that they're close-minded and you can't communicate with them. And I may fit into that category as well. But that is one of the biggest compliments that I can give about this guy is not only is he a genius, but his mind is so freaking open. And it's not open to the point where he can be manipulated about anything. He's too friggin' smart. You can't manipulate him into anything. And that is the part about having an open mind. As soon as your mind's open, it's open to the suggestion to create any kind of bullshit. So that's the danger of having an open mind, is anybody can manipulate an open mind. But you need to have an open mind to find out where you're wrong when you're a genius. And this guy's got it. This guy is one of the most open-minded people that I've ever ran across while being a genius. So I'm definitely going to be keeping up on this. I definitely think Bottled Intentions has something to do with the changes that are going to take place on the planet. But does it mean that it has to actually unfold and everybody's drinking out of bottles? No, sometimes all it is about talking about it, because it's just the concept. Once you have the concept in your mind and you know how it works, then you don't really even need it to be out there because it's just a concept. And the concept can be just in your mind. You don't have to make it actually physical. But it is through Bottled Intentions. It is through my purpose that ended up leading me towards this guy, crossing paths with this guy. So it's like whatever it is you're passionate about, you're on the right track. Don't be tied to the outcome. Just be tied to whatever it is that's on your path is in support of something else. And when we all form together, we're going to end up being supportive of everybody else. Like this guy that's forming, his own country, he's got to have a currency and base it on something. A lot of people are gold and silver, base it on a gold and silver, and it's like, why do that? Like, why not use water as your currency? Because that's in the air, it's in your body, it's everywhere, and it's unlimited, which means you'll never run out of money. Your economic system can never, ever, ever run out of money. It's like it can print money every single friggin' day and legal and make it work. Why? Because it's not limited. Right now, we design our systems where as long as you keep something limited, it increases the value because supply and demand. As long as not everybody has it, then we want it, which is what's destroying the whole economic system. Because in order for us to value any type of currency right now, Not everybody has to have it. So that means that you need to create poverty to value a dollar right now. But that all can be changed where we value what's behind the dollar, the actual labor going on. And that is endless. And that needs to be valued with your dollar, not just the limited amount, which you know perfectly well you're creating slavery with that. Peace out.